She's over here making faces.
She's
sorry.
all zooming, or she's fixing my camera, and I'm like...
You did that on the show when Mike Sublett was here.
Yeah, I try to just randomly throw faces.
I loved it.
She's going to start creating bloopers real soon.
I am.
Good morning and happy Saturday, you guys. It is Amanda and Baron on Kicking Cancer Cares on KSLM Radio, 104.3 FM and 1220 AM.
We've been recording a lot, and you had to pause and think about, what show are we doing right now?
Okay. Our sponsor for this first half is Oddmo's Pizza. So I've made a commitment now that I am going to get the Green Monster once a week.
Okay.
It is too stinking good with
It really is.
extra artichoke hearts.
Yes.
Man, they are good. But if that's not your jam, that's okay. They've got pastas, 3 different kinds.
They have
garlic.
pizza with jam? I didn't know that.
If
You said
you're
it
a little
the same.
turd. They have pastas, garlic basil pasta, traditional red sauce, and the garlic red pepper, chicken strips, boneless wings, cheesy garlic bread, poppers. I love their poppers. They are amazing. And I actually just learned, you told me last week that they're baked.
They're baked.
Which is amazing.
So when I first heard about them, I thought they were jalapeno poppers, which is just a jalapeno cut in half with some cream cheese, and they deep fry it.
Right.
But this is a potato popper,
And it's
and then
so
it
good.
goes through the same way they cook the pizzas. So it's a baked, it's not deep fried.
Yes.
So it really is a lot healthier for us.
Yes, it is. And then they've got fresh salads, 3 different kinds, garden, Greek, and club. And then if the Green Monster's not your jam, then I highly suggest the Reggie, which is a garlic vegetable, and you can add chicken. My mouth's watering right now.
Here, have some water.
Maybe I need to just have my one pizza weekly here at this show.
Every show we have
But
pizza.
then I'll be too busy just piling my...
Yeah, just go back to that old episode and watch a man eat pizza.
So huge shout out to Oddmo's, Mike. Thank you so much for sponsoring us. And you guys, go get yourself some lunch today.
Before we get too far into the show, for the 4th time, we have a guest.
Okay.
This is the 4th time Victoria's been with us. Welcome to the show, Victoria.
Thank you.
Hello,
Good morning.
Victoria.
Good morning.
In fact, I just realized that the very first show that we did, it was a full hour show,
Yeah.
was Victoria. She was our first guest
Oh, no way.
for our hour-long show.
I love that.
You are also the last guest in this studio.
You are.
Wow.
Yes, because we are moving.
We are
That's
moving.
right. Well, thank you.
yes,
for having
what
me
an
back.
honor.
It is an honor.
And we've had some great discussions with Victoria in here.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll get more into that here in a minute. But
Okay.
last week, we had a really fun guest in Allie. Remember
Oh,
Allie?
yes.
Allie?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I really like her lazy river analogy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
so just for your sake, Victoria, we had this gal, Allie, and she's a functional nutritionist. And she talked about how our society is kind of like the lazy river at the Croc Center. It's easy to get in it, and then the current carries you around the lazy river, okay? And then some big water parks have even a stronger current. But once you're in the current, it's just easy to just sit and float the lazy river. There's a lot of things about our society when it comes to food and how to eat, and just pull off the freeway, go through McDonald's, and back on the freeway. We live in this lazy river. Mm-hmm. Well, if you've been in a lazy river and you want to get out of the lazy river, you actually have to put some effort in to get out of that lazy river and get back into the main
What a
pool.
great analogy.
Yeah.
And we have to make decisions to get out of this lazy river that we have as a society when it comes to food. Mm-hmm. You know, so I thought it was a really good.
Oh,
interview.
yeah, absolutely. And all of those things that she said that are the fiber things to kind of sweep you through, sweep your digestive system through.
Mm-hmm.
I eat these things, they're called clean something, and you get them in the produce section, and it's like a pumpkin, flaxseed, chai seed. It's like little square things that are just full of goodness, and I absolutely love them.
Is that the technical term? Little square things that are full of goodness?
Yes,
Okay.
it is now.
Okay.
I buy them because they truly just taste so good to me, and they've got honey in them, which is a good alternative instead of sugar.
Yeah.
And so I went home and I looked on the back of the thing, and it was like, it's all the things.
It's all the things.
Keeps my digestive system just moving.
Well, and again, Victoria probably hasn't heard this episode, but we talked about 3 things you can do to get yourself out of that lazy river. And one of them is to get some movement. We all live in very sedentary lives, and we call it the one more driveway, but just go for a walk to this driveway and then go home, and then one more driveway and one more driveway. The other one was to eat mindfully, but the third one is we actually had this conversation about you need to poop daily, and you need to get the right kind of food to sweep it out.
Sweep it through.
Sweep it through.
Just move it through.
You were a lot more tactful than I was with that conversation.
So it was just cool. I was like, wow, something that I just really, truly enjoy eating is benefiting me.
Yeah. Well, once again, you truly are the Segway Queen. Do you know what today...
I'll take autographs later.
Today's food is flaxseed.
Oh, okay.
You were just talking about going and eating that, right? But as I was showing us to Victoria earlier, you were kind of sad about this.
I am sad about it. Flaxseed I've known for years is really, really good for you, and I used to have it every morning in my oatmeal. Come to find out, I am extremely allergic to it. It causes all kinds of skin issues, itchy rashes and hives, and so it just saddens me. But with this article you're sharing, I'm going to try it again.
Are you?
I am.
Okay. Be careful.
Just,
small amounts.
That's what I think. Just a small amount, even if it's a couple times a week.
Right. Okay. Well, be careful.
Thank you.
I'm going to dive into flaxseed real quick, but because my brain scrolled for a second, and you were talking about being allergic to flaxseed.
Yes.
I have a very humorous comment here about our exercise comment, about needing to exercise. And I'm trying to rapidly find this. Where to go? Here it is. It says, I exercised once, but found I was allergic to it. My skin flushed. My heart raced. I got sweaty and short of breath. It is a very dangerous thing to do.
Yep.
That is so funny. It's so true.
I'm allergic to exercise.
Same.
Well,
that kind of allergy I'll take.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not allergic to flaxseed, here's why it's so beneficial. Flaxseed is high in plant-based, heart-smart, omega-3 fatty acids.
Okay.
It says that it is a natural source of phytoestrogen, which can actually be beneficial and will not increase a woman's risk of breast cancer.
Okay.
So that's why Victoria's going to try it again.
Okay.
So that is our anti-cancer food for today. And once again, if you miss these, Amanda always takes a picture of them. You can email Amanda at
KSLM.news. And this time I took the picture and Baron's face is in the background.
Oh, no.
So it's a goodie.
Oh, no.
So email
That's
me.
kind of scary. But the other great thing is we have a YouTube channel now.
Yes.
And it's Kickin'Cancer Productions. Ashlie has just become a great member of our staff, and this picture will go to the YouTube channel as well, so you can see it there. Well, just kind of a fun update for you. We are officially into July, which makes it the third quarter.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to announce our newest Go team.
Oh, okay.
And it's always interesting to me how these Go teams just kind of
fall into place.
Yeah. We had done a golf tournament in June. And that was our first. We're doing 3 this year. Our first one. Amanda had been. Her name's Amanda, and she had been nominated because she found that she had uterine cancer. Mm-hmm. And so her friends rallied around her, and they were playing golf for F-O-R-E. They were playing for Amanda.
Okay.
Uterine cancer's peach.
Oh.
So there's a lot of peach polo shirts and T-shirts. That was in early June.
Okay.
We get to the tournament, and we're at registration, and this one lady comes up. She's played in several of our tournaments, and she walks up to me and she says, well, I'm officially part of your club. I'm like, okay, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. She had just found that she was diagnosed with stage 1 uterine cancer. Oh.
But stage 1's positive.
Stage 1's positive.
Very positive.
Right.
I mean, not positive, but...
Yes. Amanda was stage 3 plus.
Okay.
So Amanda was very bad diagnosis. It had already left the uterus. It had gone to the cervix. It had gone to the ovaries. It was a very aggressive attack. Fortunately for Rochelle, it's just stage 1.
Yeah.
Now, there's lots of ways to go about taking care of it, but she's in her early to mid-50s. She's like, I don't even use that thing anymore anyway. Just get it out of there. So she's opting for a hysterectomy.
Yeah.
Right? But what we've decided is the next 2 golf tournaments. There's one in the middle of July in Staten, and one at the end of August in Corvallis. And those will both be for Rochelle.
Okay, awesome.
And she will be our 3rd quarter Go Team. It's going to be Go Team Rochelle.
Perfect.
Awesome.
I love that.
Yeah. The other thing I brought was some shocking information. I went and dug up the statistics from the American Cancer Society.
Okay.
Remember we talked several weeks ago when Yuri was here about the top cancers in Russia?
Yeah.
Well, here's the top cancers in the United States.
Okay.
New cases. Number 1, and again, this is from the American Cancer Society's website. New cases for men, number 1 is going to be prostate cancer with 29%.
Okay.
Number 2 will be lung. Number 3 will be colon.
Okay.
Except what's interesting is lung is supposed to be 11%, then colon is 8%. So it drastically drops down to a much smaller percentages.
Right.
Number 1 for women, breast cancer. So the number 1 for women is breast. Number 1 for men is prostate.
Okay.
Okay. Number 2 for women is lung. Number 3 is colon.
So they're all three. They're
You have a
pretty
different.
much the same.
If you look at the genetics, right? So the number 1 for women is breast, then lung and colon. Number 1 for men is prostate, then lung and colon.
Yeah.
So if you take the gender out of it,
Yeah.
it's the same, same flow.
That's crazy.
And the number 1 killer deaths for male and female will be lung cancer.
Okay.
Lung cancer will still be the number 1 generic across the board. So that is the official from the American Cancer Society.
You should bring Rachel Dolan in from Radon Valley.
We will bring her back.
Yes, because she touches a lot on, because it can be more than just smoking cigarettes.
That's
for
what I
lung
was going to
cancer.
say. Many of the lung cancers, they haven't smoked
Right.
a day in their life, or maybe a day, but not consistently.
Yeah,
So
and
it's-
radon is
Yeah.
it's in our homes,
It
and this lady Rachel can do tests, and it's extremely cheap. It doesn't cost much, next to nothing, to know how strong the radon is in your home. So let's get her in.
Yeah. Well, I thought it would be really fun, since we're bringing Victoria back for the 4th time, and it is now July 2024.
I feel like you had to think about that.
Well,
I know, I did too.
the reason I think about it is how much time has gone by.
Yeah.
Because it's always fun to hear her version versus my version. But 6 years ago, in July,
Is when you guys met?
was when we met.
Oh, no way.
It is.
Oh, that's cool.
It was July 2018.
Okay.
So here's my version, and I actually like hearing Victoria's version. We were going to do our first seminar, and I just needed some money to pay for it. Right? We virtually had no money in the budget, and we were living in a house that we were renting. The guy was going to sell the house, and he says, "If you'll just help keep the house nice, so I can sell it." We had already figured where we were going to move, and so I really kind of helped him sell that house by not making it a cluster mess of a house.
Right.
And right afterwards, he wrote me a check for $500,
Oh, nice.
which covered all the costs of that first clinic. I had a few shirts left from when we did Brenda's, and so I thought, well, yeah, we're $500. I'll take you a couple shirts for him and his wife. And as I'm there, he says, I have a very good friend who has just battled through breast cancer. Would you take her a shirt? I'm like, you gave me $500.
Absolutely,
I will
bud.
take her a shirt. And he goes, well, she's the vice president of U.S. Bank. And I'm like, okay.
You got a little nervous, didn't you?
I got a lot nervous. So I drive to the Ladden Bush building, and I'm sitting here going, I don't know who this lady is, never met her in my life. All I could think of was the title vice president.
Yeah.
But I said, Barron, put on your big boy pants and walk in and find this lady. So I walk into and if you've been to Ladden Bush, it's out a huge lobby, and I come in with wearing my shirt and one more shirt to give to the person I never met.
Right.
And I said, I'm looking for Victoria Shinn. And they said, oh, hold on a second. And they go around the corner to find her.
In
But
her
that's-
big vice president office?
Yes.
Just kidding.
But that's where the story shifts gears. So, Victoria, tell them what happened next.
So thank you for the kudos with the title.
The title scared the crud out of me.
I don't blame you.
Thank you. I do realize we earned that title. However,
You worked hard for that title.
Very.
I did.
You did.
However, it's just me, and those of you that know me understand
It
what
is
I'm
just you.
saying. So a coworker came around the corner and said, Victoria, there's a gentleman here that says he doesn't know you, you don't know him, but he needs to meet you. And I'm like, okay.
That is never a good way to start a
That's
conversation.
Farron for you.
And we're all in cubes, but so I'm not in an actual office. I said, okay, I'll tell him I'll be right out. So I come around the corner, and here's this guy right here, great big hot pink T-shirt, big smile, and this presence is big. And it's like, oh, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, what does he want? What is this T-shirt about? Okay, so I'm just, do my thing and introduce myself, and he starts to tell me the backstory of our joint friend that we
Yes.
know, who'd sent him my way, and I had been diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer in 2016 that had spread to liver and bones.
It was pretty dire diagnosis.
Yeah.
So this was 2 years after that. I'm still here 8 years later.
Yay!
18 clear PET scans. Yoo-hoo! Really, seriously, I'm very grateful for all of that. But so here's Barron. He explains to me what's happening, explains to me about his sister, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, there's some connections here. Anyway, that's how we first met. And from that point forward, look at what he's done.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal. So touched so many lives, Barron, and so many. I know this wasn't supposed to be about you, but it is. Sorry, you're just going to have to accept that. Because you've taken and expanded it and outreach to so many now worldwide. It's just amazing.
Well, and when I went to see her, it wasn't even an idea yet for a nonprofit. It was just take a shirt to Victoria.
Right.
We're going to do a seminar, take a shirt to Victoria.
And the key that you need to remember for me, in my mind, I'm listening to Barron. He said, well, one of our goals is we'd like to have 1 million pink T-shirts marching in Washington, D.C., to Kickin'Cancer. And I'm like, oh, I love parades. Washington, D.C., yes, pink, oh, yes. I'm envisioning this already because I'm a visualization person, and I love to do that. We haven't made it to D.C. yet, but
It's still coming.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I love what Victoria always comments is, so she sees the shirt, and it's a donkey.
Oh, yes.
It's cartoonish, but it's angry, and it's just at the right angle where all you see is the backside of the donkey kicking. And I think part of the appeal was just the logo itself. Bit fortuitous, but when I went to the guy to make these shirts, he made 12. Now we have 3,000, but at the time
Right.
he made 12. And he spent $12 to buy this image.
Oh, okay.
And I'm really glad he did, because if he had just borrowed it from some place in Los Angeles or Chicago or whatever, eventually we would have been probably paying royalties for this image. But
Yeah.
we own this image. We may have to get a trademark, I don't know. But so Victoria's just looking at this donkey and how cartoonish it is and how angry it is.
I am, and on a serious note, a little more serious, when you look at that logo, it resonates with me for several reasons. One, I love animals, but also the anger when if hopefully none of you out there will ever be diagnosed with cancer and have to join the club.
Yeah.
It's a club that nobody really wants to be a part of, but
Right.
once you are, you've got a lot of support around you. When I see that and I see the angry donkey, it's like, it reminds me of the word that many people use when you're first diagnosed with that. And I'm not going to say it because it's just not who I am, but it resonates that, all right, we're going to get in the fight, we're going to kick it. Mm-hmm. And so
Yeah.
I love that donkey.
Yeah.
Well, the word that you're choosing not to use, we are now collaborating with Two Town Cider.
Okay.
And I have a meeting this week with the marketing person from Two Town Cider. Two Towns actually has a brand new cider out, and it's called F***Cancer.
Okay.
And it has the name of a bunch of survivors on the can.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
Two Towns, and this is a pretty recognizable name, right? Like Sandy and Brewing, they might know. Two Towns, you know. Mm-hmm. And they have marketed a cider. It's called F***Cancer.
Yep.
And I'm sitting down with their marketing person, and we're going to collaborate with Two Town Cider.
That's exciting.
That's great.
I did not want a shirt that said F cancer. I mean, that's the way I felt when Brenda got diagnosed.
Right.
So just kicking cancer with the donkey on it. But like you said, you see it, and that's the image in your head.
And if you've ever been stepped on by a horse or a donkey, you know how powerful that hoof can be.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, something else happened just with my connection with Victoria. It would have been a little later in that year. She was really instrumental, and we got the nonprofit. We had to go get a bank. We went to U.S. Bank to get the bank going. I'm going between all of the state agencies, and Victoria did this. Okay, back to the state agency. She really helped us get all the nonprofit stuff set up.
Right.
And then in early 2019, I met who back then was the president of the Volcanoes. His name is Mitch Graff. And Mitch was talking about Cancer Awareness Weekend. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I should be at that.
I should be.
So I didn't know Lisa Walker.
Yeah.
But Victoria did. And we arranged a meeting in May of 2019 to sit down with Lisa Walker. Do you remember that meeting?
Oh my gosh, yes, because one of my favorite things to do is connect. And connecting you with Lisa, I had no idea where it was going at all. And I just told her, 10, 15 minutes max, because I didn't want to. She's busy. I don't want to take
That
up a
wasn't
lot
very
of.
long for Baron to talk.
No.
Did it go much? It had to have gone much longer.
So you'll love what actually happened. Out of respect for Lisa's time, we got there, and I said, how much time do you have? Mm-hmm. I got about 15 minutes. They were busy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, she's about 15 minutes. I said, I'll just go right to this chase. I would love to get involved with Cancer Awareness Weekend. This is who I am, blah, blah, blah. And then she started talking, and 1 hour later...
Wait, she did the talking,
Yes.
not you?
No,
Yes.
it was Lisa.
You've met your match.
Yes.
And I go back to the board. They said, you didn't talk for 1 full hour?
I'll attest to that. He did not.
Victoria
Bravo,
was.
Baron. Bravo.
But at the very end, she says, oh, and by the way, yes, you can be involved in Cancer Awareness Weekend.
Yes, this is exactly how it went. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It really
I
was.
love how connections happen like that.
I do too.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And look at how you guys collaborate now. It's phenomenal.
Well, the really cool thing is that because of that, I was able to help Cancer Awareness survive COVID. We found a way to make it happen. And while all the other agencies didn't get involved, Kickin'Cancer was still there with the Walkers through that pandemic.
Yeah.
So when a job came available in marketing, guess who they called?
You.
But then I looked at Lisa, who has always helped bring people and honor their fight and let them throw a pitch out. I said, Lisa, Saturday is June the 22nd, 2024. 27 years ago, on June the 22nd, was the very first game at that stadium.
Oh, wow.
I said, you have to throw the pitch out
You have to. Yes.
with your friend Victoria.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, both of them got sick,
Oh, no.
but the plan was for Victoria and Lisa together to throw a pitch out on Cancer Awareness Weekend on the exact day that they had the very first game 27 years ago. So we found a way to pull this whole thing back together again.
Yes. That's cool.
I know we're running short on time, but I do want to read you an amazing press release that talks about what Lisa has done with Cancer Awareness Weekend, but I don't want to, well, we might have time here. So this was a press release that actually went to Coin 6 News,
Okay.
and it talks about what Lisa did to create Cancer Awareness Night in 2002.
Okay.
So 22 years ago.
Wow.
Because of the success of it, that became Cancer Awareness Weekend. It became a template for other teams across the nation. So Major League Baseball took what Lisa did
Oh, wow.
and began modeling all over the nation.
That's cool.
The 11th annual celebration was in July 2012. There was 10,000 people that attended that weekend.
Jeez, that's a lot of
10,000
people.
over that weekend, including thousands of survivors and their families. As a result of her efforts for cancer awareness and her countless charitable and civic activities, in 2005, Lisa was named National Woman of the Year in the sports by Rawlings Sporting Goods.
Yeah.
And then she got a chance to go to a luncheon in Dallas, Texas, where 3,000 baseball executives across the nation recognized her for her efforts.
Wow.
Yeah. Lisa's story was then published in the spring of 2006 in a magazine called At the Yard. It's a very baseball related, but her story was in there. And it featured on the cover of Willamette Women in July and August of 2010.
Wow.
So Lisa's efforts to recognize other survivors gave her a lot of national recognition.
It blew up, and it made it possible for others to recognize other survivors as well.
which is part of what I want to get to in the second half of our show.
Okay, awesome. All right, well then I'll lead us out with Odd-Mo's Pizza. you
Yes.
guys. Okay, I'm going to go over some pizzas. So they have the lineman combo, and that's salami, pepperoni, fresh mushrooms, red onions, black olives, Italian sausage, ground beef, green peppers, mozzarella cheese, and their famous red sauce. That one's a good one. Oh, they have a taco style one. This one's taco meat. It's called the Big Juan. It's got taco meat, mozzarella cheese, lettuce, black olives, fresh tomato, green onions, cheddar cheese, and their south of the border sauce.
And I've had that one. If you're not a fan of taco salads or taco pizzas, don't order it.
Yes.
If you do order it, have a plate and a fork.
Yes.
Because it's a taco salad on
a
pizza dough.
Yes.
On pizza dough.
It's my sister's absolute favorite. They
It's a
love
great,
taco
if you like
pizzas.
taco salads, it's a great pizza.
Yep. And they have a vegan option. And some of their vegan toppings, I kind of wanted to touch on this last time and I ran out of time. They have vegan mozzarella cheese, vegan pepperoni, vegan chicken, vegan sausage, and vegan ranch. So that's pretty awesome. Not a lot of places have vegan options like that for people. So huge shout out to Mike. All right, you guys, we'll be right back after these messages.